Doop doop doo. Hey, Nubby. Good afternoon. Hold on, I'm patching up my client to what will likely be the version that goes live tomorrow, 1076. We're discussing internally right now if we're going to do another patch. There's only a few things that have gone in since I did this build last night. None of them critical things, so is it worth the extra time for build, or do we just get that in patch 1? Yeah, I'm going to eat on stream. It's my lunch. Came back and got distracted by people. I went and met with our new CS person who, let's see if I can remember their name. Freeway Lulu, I think is going to be her forum name. Yes, I know. I told her to think about it. I also told her that you guys would be nice to her. Shrimp wonton noodles. Nice to our new CS person. So they're actually someone who lives in my neighborhood who isn't a game player, but she doesn't need to be a game player to ship boxes, obviously, and has a background in working with unstable people. True story. So she's perfect for the job, right? No, she actually does help people with mental problems and social work stuff. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Let me get out of here. Is it ready? Okay, looks like we're ready. Whew. Do. Whose house did you love, Lady Van Helsing? Hold on, I gotta get down there. Display capture, that's not it. Display capture, here we go. 1076. Aha. Mine. Yeah, that's actually Foo Bunny. That is what I was telling her. Foo Bunny says that we have quite a few sane community members. We do. Compared to most games, I told her there were some concerns because, if you look at the average game in the gaming market, there's a lot of toxic masculinity type problems and teenagers being toxic and that type of stuff that you kind of think of like with an Overwatch or something like that. And that's the thing I was happy to tell her was like, yeah, we're actually more of a much more mature game. The average player in our game, there's probably as many people over the age of 40 as there are under the age of 40. And that in general, the only people we have that appear toxic are really just people who are entirely too passionate about the game. So I went through the queue and I showed her one email that was from somebody that was like 4 paragraphs of them cussing us out, saying how horrible we are, what criminals we are, whatever, hope we die type stuff. And then the next thing we see, oh, hold on, I'm getting the dog in his bed. The next thing I did was then go and show her that, and that person who sent that toxic email is quit the game for 1 day and then came back and is playing the game and acting totally normal in the game. So again, a lot of times it's just that there are people, people get passionate about the game. So Yep, you're all old farts. Except Lady Van Helsing, who's not a day over 28. Let's see. Go look at my highlights. These are... Yeah. I got way more gray than what shows up here. This actually means I need to get my hair cut, because when you don't see this or enough grays, that just means that my hair is overdue for a haircut. And when I get a haircut, I'm like 2/3 gray. Far from highlights. It's dark highlights these days. All right, hold on. I'm taking a big bite. Oh, you did a stream on my house. I see. Get in your bed, dog. Dog is angry with me. He may be disruptive during the stream. All right, let's see what I got going on here. I'm almost done eating, and sorry for eating on stream. I try not to do that. Except for pork rinds, of course. But I got stuck late, and then I got talking to people, and I missed my lunchtime. I see an important question there. Apple Rust asked, did the fox move in yet? This is only for people who are Facebook friends with me or follow me on Facebook or whatever. Unless you're really, really passionate about the game, don't follow me on Facebook. I post some political stuff occasionally. And the rest of the time, it's just pictures of Maxine. And the occasional story. This one was, we've had foxes on our... Get in your bed. Get in your bed. I'll cover you up. We've had foxes that come and visit our house pretty much on a daily basis. Dog. Pretty much visit our house on a daily basis. We have a second-story deck off the master bedroom, and the foxes like sleeping. That's where they live. They like basically just go up there and stay at night, and it's a boy and a girl fox. Well, I'd noticed the girl fox was getting a little chunky and having a little trouble on her video. Mojito, get in your bed, please. Been having a little trouble getting up the tree into the deck there, and so we think she's about to have pups. So I actually, this weekend, if you didn't see me that much on Sunday, that's because Maxine and I went and we built a fox house, and I installed a camera in it and put it out there for them. But I think just due to all the disruptions, they're a little skittish. They don't avoid us too much when we see them, but they're a little skittish, I think, and you can disrupt their world, and they go hide out for a while. But here is the latest exciting news, because I have a camera in there, and my hope is that they'll move in and live in there and have their pups in there. So hold on, let me find the video. And yes, I have like a security camera in there that... Alright, hold on, I'll find it. But yes, I did catch someone visiting the house. It was not the fox. Hold on. Almost there. Almost found it. Hold on. All right, you guys ready to see them? So in addition to having foxes, we also have some other stuff. I know this is really game related. This is kind of the time when I wait for people to get into the stream, and then I'll start up a giveaway. Then I'll start doing some Q&A. But the other thing that we have that's unique in our yard, everybody has raccoons. We, of course, have raccoons. We have herds of raccoons that come stumbling through. There's no fox in game, but here is, let's see if I can find this thing. Here we go. So this is what they call a ring-tailed cat. You would not believe this if you saw it. You would not believe it lives in America. But the ring-tailed cat, he also lives at our house. They like to live in attics. We forced him out of our attic and had it sealed. We're worried he might have found a way back in. But anyways, that's him inside the fox house. Just passing through. It has a door on each end, so because, yeah, that's the chupacabra. Yeah, that's him at 2:49 a.m. This is him at 9:53 p.m. last night. But yeah, it looks like some kind of crazy cat-raccoon combo. He's like super pretty. We have pictures of him with the not night camera. And yeah, and he's like super pretty, and he has like, I mean, just like you want one as a pet if you see one. Yeah, look at that giant tail. Giant striped tail, it's crazy. The entrance hole does kind of look fake. I know, I can tell exactly what you mean by that. Looks like a Bugs Bunny drew that on the wall. Entrance hole. But anyways, we're hoping the foxes will come, kick that guy out, and take over the thing, but... Alright, so I'm on version 1076 on live. You may not see me in the same scene. I forget if we updated our data check that says you can't group with people or you can't see people. You can't be in the same scene with the other people. Sometimes we do. I don't know if we had that much server data change this time around. But here's the way you can really tell it's different. Oh, look. There's a Lua check down there. Uh-huh. But yeah, so I got to go test a few things here. But mostly the build looks good. I think we're ready for tomorrow. I'm almost done eating my lunch and then I'll stop. Monty the DJ. Some pathing issues with elves on the top floor of Tartarus. Yeah. Alright, so that's one thing. Now that we're up to 81 viewers, that's probably enough to start giving you some updates on stuff. So the sad one is I think people saw Brad McQuaid passed away yesterday. For those who don't know, he was kind of the driving force behind EverQuest, which I've said this many times on air. I'm not just saying this because he passed away, but I played, if there's only one game I played more than UO, and that was EverQuest. It's extra sad because I just reached out to him and been talking to him in the past few months about doing some cross-promotion stuff with him. And so it actually had some phone calls with him and exchanging chats on Facebook and stuff like that. So super sad. Again, I don't know any more details than anybody else knows. But short of... I think Richard probably has had a bigger influence on my life just because when you combine Ultimas and Ultima Online stuff, that's a huge chunk of time spent. But Brad McQuaid was probably right behind him on influencing. So yeah, and we'll see. I have no information, honestly, on Pantheon stuff. That was the game that he was involved with. I know they've got a team. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, with any game. No one person, even though there's one person who may be a figurehead, no one person is the team. So I wish those guys well. As a game developer, I don't think that wouldn't end the project. I don't think. But still happy to work with those guys, and I'm going to reach out to a few of the other guys over there to see if they still want to get together and do some live streaming, because we'd actually planned on doing some cross streaming here, as they have some release stuff coming up where, I get with them and stream their game, and they get with us and stream our game. Talk about design stuff. That was something I was really hoping to do with Brad, but not to be. Very sad news, and that's one of those things that I think was shocking to everybody. Shocking to me because Brad was a little younger than me. So, speaking of gray highlights. But, anyways, let's see. What do we got here? Antrax Artec. I'll get to that one here short. I'll do that now, because that is one that I've rethought some stuff on it. Antrax Artec question: is Rend ignoring completely damage resist something that is intended or a bug? It is intended, but the thing that is I've had to rethink is kind of the idea was like, well, if you get cut, you're still going to bleed whether you have armor on or not. But in reality, if you get cut, the initial hit may get some of that will get blocked, but that should be blocking the depth of the cut if we're trying to reality model it. So reality modeling, I think I've kind of changed my mind that it probably shouldn't ignore all armor on the Rend dot. The challenge with it is blades pretty much live and die by Rend. If you look in terms of their DPS, that is a huge, huge chunk of the DPS they do. So I may be evaluating some stuff, but I don't want to remove. I agree that damage resist should be a factor on that, but it is one of those things. Rada Torment. Yeah, he passed away yesterday. They announced it, and I just talked to him like within the last week. So I had no idea any of that was coming. But yeah, so anyways, it probably should be stopped by armor. I don't want to change it right now just because that drives so much of blade DPS, and I don't think blade is OP. At least not much OP if it is. So I probably will change that, but I'm not going to change it until I have some other offer for them to keep them in the game. All right, let me get my note stuff out here. So anyways, on some more news stuff, that was the sad news. For those who didn't know. And thoughts and prayers go out to, he's got a family, he's got his team. It's one of those things, especially since, I wouldn't even think of putting myself in the same field, but just knowing what it would do to our team if I passed away, or if Star passed away or somebody like that. And then also, my family, it's one of those things that definitely makes you think about it. So anyways, back to questions, or getting to questions. Oh, no, news stuff first. So the news stuff is, so we have some crazy releases coming up. So this one, in case you didn't notice, like you blinked and you missed the entire release, and tomorrow is a release day. Due to where Thanksgiving fall, of course it always falls on the Thursday that's a release day, but just kind of where the previous release fell, we only had a 3-week release between now and this release. So next release, due to how things fall, it's also another 3 weeks. We have a 3-week release followed by a 3-week release, and that is because if there's going to be people who are out the week of the 19th, I think it is. The week that the 19th would fall on. Let me find that. There's at least one key person that will be out the whole week of 16th through the 20th. and then there's another person who's going to be leaving in the middle. So that would leave us with short-staffed on patching stuff if we... Oh, wait, let's see, the 19th. That would have been the 20... They would have been out the 23rd. So if we released on the 19th of December, that means we'd only have the 20th, 23rd, and then it's Christmas Eve. So we didn't want to push it that close to Christmas, which means it goes all the way back up to the 12th. So again, 3 weeks for this release, 3 weeks for the next release. So I am, of course, super lame and spending Christmas working. So my plan, and since I'm the guy who pushes out the patches now and makes the patches and builds them and does like most of that junk, my plan is to keep rolling out patches every couple of days, adding stuff. It's going to be minimal stuff. It'll be bug fixes. I really, really want to get the nav mesh stuff fixed. Hey, thank you very much, Serial Noob. Oh, and thank you, Legion of Myth. Man, I'm way behind on stuff here. Thank you, Legion of Myth. Thank you, Serial Noob, for the resub. Thank you, Spry1 for the 100 bits. Thank you, Christ Pallid, for the resub. And again, double thanks on the raid from Legion of Myth. But anyways, there's some really nasty pathfinding stuff I want to fix. It's also still... The dungeon rooms are improved, but there's still some problems going on with the creatures not spawning. They're not willing to leave the room. So then things like in the mage room, the library, like they're getting stuck up on a rafters, and I think I'm just going to have to go refactor a chunk of code. But I'm hoping I can get that done over the holidays. That's one that dungeons are a huge part. Player dungeons are a huge thing, and I think they've been pretty buggy for a while, and I've just had other priorities. But anyways, I hope to get to those over the Christmas break. Let's see. But Lua stuff, again, is going to be a big thing that I'll be working on. I've exposed the party stuff, so you can now access your party members, you know, their name, how many people you have in your party, their current health, their max health, their current focus, their max focus. And I'm sure Devil Cult and some other guys already have... Sorry, reading the chat. Sure, Devil Cult already has some, like a thing set up so you can have it so it gives you a warning, on-screen warning, flashing text on your screen when somebody in your party gets below 20% or something. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to try to get back on script here and get done some quests. Oh, I know what I got to do. I got to do some, start the giveaway bot. 1 second. The bot's going, it's collecting questions. I just don't have the giveaway stuff set up yet. Let me pick something here. Ooh, Kabold Inn is on sale. I'll do that as my last giveaway of today. Kabold Village Inn. Let's see. We'll start with a, how about a Topiary Village Dragon. That's a pretty good one, too. I'll probably just get in... I might get in 3. Let's see. Reset. Hold on. Topiary Village Dragon Statue. There we go. Bam. Prizes. Alright, that's going. But let's see what other stuff. Yeah, so anyways, so yes, 3-week release followed by 3-week release. That makes it really hard to get anything done. The good news is that'll be followed by a 7-week release, although that's interrupted by Christmas and New Year stuff, which is always disruptive. But I plan on continue patching and doing stuff over the break, so you can continue to look forward to new stuff. Again, patching, because we have 3-week releases, I'm just planning on basically patching from now until New Year. We love you for Lua. I'm not sure what that means. I guess you guys are liking playing with the Lua stuff. There's a lot more work to be done. People were asking about Lua stuff. Again, we've done a couple streams, or I did a stream on it last week, and then we did the Friday stream we talked about, and we're going to talk about it again on Friday. Because people are really excited about it, and it's generating a lot of chatter. So the Lua stuff... yeah. The Lua stuff is really, it'll be helping everybody, even if you have no idea what Lua is. Lua is just a simple scripting language that is easy to embed, that lets you do some cool things. I am in the process, the difficult part, and it's something I've wanted to hook up for years, but of course, it kind of gets poo-pooed on because we have trouble tackling really things that feel really big because they take multiple releases. And you guys can imagine if I didn't make any change except like work on one system and you didn't see a change for a full release, like, I didn't do anything for R72, nothing showed up, it'd send concerns to the community. So we try not to do these really big things, and this is one that I just felt I had to tackle and buckle down and got it in. So hopefully it's in there pretty usable already. I know you guys are playing with it. I know there's several Lua people out there right now in the stands. If you guys can get me some Lua scripts. I want to show off some of your work on Friday. If you don't want to share them publicly, you can just send them to me, and I will try them out. It'll also help me get some test cases if you guys have some bugs. But pretty sure it's bug free. I do know there's a bug in periodic, but it seemed to only be a bug. If you register two periodics with the same function name, but the same function names are in two different scripts, then it can cause some problems. But I didn't see any other problems with the periodic stuff. As for good books, and thank you very much, Snugs, and thank you very much, Torque, and thank you very much, Snugs. As for good books on it, there's a lot of good web pages on it. It is, again, it's a pretty simple scripting language. Since I already have it up there, whoops, looks like I need to. Transformers. No, stop cropping. Where's the transform? Reset. There we go. I mean, this is kind of what it looks like. Again, this is just some dummy script that I have up there for testing some stuff. But, yeah, I mean, it's really dark theme. It's a really simple scripting language. I'm just giving you guys hooks so that you can do some GUI stuff. You can do some, set up some timer callbacks to check stuff. And hook some keystroke stuff, print stuff to screen, print stuff to your output window, like this window. It'll be something you can filter on. So really what you can do, and here's kind of how I expect people to use it, at least to some extent, you can print stuff directly on screen. But you can always do, and you can't see what I'm doing. You can create that stuff there. Ignore what my lich friend is saying. Let's see. We can go bam, 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 bam. Just filter it to Lua. And then the Lua, you can have that as an output window. And for instance, let me get to that folder and I can show you real quick again some of those things. I know most of you guys have seen this, but again, this is something that's going to keep evolving. I'm continuing to add functionality. Like I mentioned, the last thing I added was adding party hooks so you can get information about your party. Next one coming up is going to be about your inventory, so I'll give you a way that you can like go through your inventory and do your own stuff on your inventory if you want to. Now that's not going to be new UI for the window. That's going to be, but that can do something. To give you an example of what that could mean for you is I'm going to be giving you basically a structure that'll let you take a snapshot of your inventory at a time. When you get that thing, you will now have something that you can iterate, you can walk through and see every item that you have in your inventory and the stuff that you already have visible to you in game, which will be a weight and a value. So as an example of something you could do, you could take a snapshot when you start your adventure. You could do like hook up a Lua command to say start it with the Lua command line thing, Lua start adventure, and at any time you could like keep on your screen something that once every 15 seconds goes and says, give me another copy of my inventory. Compare the old inventory to the new inventory to see how much your gold has changed. So you could quickly come up with a way to put on your screen something where you could track how much gold you've made on this adventure. And it would track things like, hey, I spent some reagents, damage some gear, whatever things, and it would actually be able to track that and you'd be able to see stuff. So it would also give the guys who are out there doing some crazy stuff with data mining and writing out stuff and writing logs and writing stuff out to JSON and Excel and those things so they can track data locally for you guys. It'll give those guys a way to, like, you can see what item went through your inventory ever, and when you do the what happened to my fishing pole, you know, they can write a tool that will quickly tell you when the last time you saw a fishing pole or something by name. Taiki. I saw a question about, can you guarantee it will never hurt other people? So there's, for the initial version, right now I just opened up File IO for people. I've got some code started to lock anything that Lua does to that Lua subfolder or any subfolder of that. Right now, if you download somebody's script you don't know, I would only do it if either one, you know how to read script, which I know is not a ton of you guys, or two, if it is posted in the public forums and you have some people in there saying, yeah, this is good. Basically get somebody to approve it. Because, yeah, there's some stuff they could do. They wouldn't have a way to hook, like to grab your password by running the script, because the scripts don't run until you actually load into a level. But after you load into a level, then yeah, there's some stuff they could do. Like they could track your chat. They could be submitting your chat to their own stuff. They could actually write something that could go and delete some files off your computer, or copy some file down to your computer. But again, I'm going to try to have that within the first patch or two. Move us out of the wild west and make sure that any reading and writing that happens in the Lua folder or a subfolder of that folder. So those script guys out there, I saw you out there, Appleseed and some of the other guys, Devil Cult, just keep that in mind, is you're not going to be able to write arbitrarily anywhere on your computer, read anywhere on the computer. Soon. I'm hoping to get that done in one of the early patches. I'm trying to get the inventory stuff wrapped up. But once that's done, then it's going to be working on that. All right, I'm just going to sip my soup here for a minute and take a break. Let's see. All right, let me actually answer some questions off the question list. Oh, I was going to show some Lewis stuff here. Oh, I know what I was going to do. Hold on. I was going to go over here, copy that, put that there, bam. So now I should have copies of that. Let's see what happens if I do... There we go. So again, what you're seeing over here is that I loaded some Lua files. It'll load any files that you put in that folder that are .lua files, and it'll tell you if there's compile errors on it. Let's see. Trying to remember, I don't even know what's in those things, but it seems to be working. Let's see. Let me close that. Do that. Oh, and in case you're wondering what's coming up on the screen over here, you can see I have, this is just an example of one of the ways you can use this. You can use it to do your own filters. I have the Shroud on console input. You guys can't see what I'm talking about. Shroud on console input with the message source name, blah, blah, blah. And it's basically reading anything that's coming in and it's writing it out. So this is, I'm just echoing it, but you guys can do stuff to parse that and come up with information so you can track, like, you know, write something. This is showing me that Minerva came online, Clio came online. You guys could easily write your own thing to, track last time you saw somebody online, or track, how many times people came on and offline, track their play hours, whatever. That reminds me, that's another one I need to give you guys, is a check how many hours you've played forever. Sorry if I'm a little lackluster energy today. I've been burning the candle at both ends here, getting ready for the release and trying to get Lewis stuff done on top of everything else. So, E-Honda's pig spawner weighs 25 stones. That's a big porker. That was one. This is one of those things where having Ravalox on the team has been incredibly valuable. Because he's brought up some of that stuff that I guess you guys mentioned him. So that the story on that actually came. I made those things as kind of the let's go test them, and I duplicated. I made a Lich statue a while back that spawned a Lich, and I actually did the Control D and swap out some geometry for it and switch things around. Well, apparently when I did that, I forgot to change the weight of them. So yes, those carrots that spawn rabbits and stuff weigh 25. That'll be fixed in the first release. That'll be fixed tomorrow morning. So. Should be fixed on QA right now. Let's see if I got any deco spawners. Meow. I saw someone else ask 100,000 gold for deco spawners at a merchant. Is that a typo? That is not a typo. So this is one of those things, you guys know how we work. We like to give you guys craftable stuff, that you can go craft, that is somewhat equivalent, maybe not quite as attractive as the thing we sell in the store. Same thing like putting it on a merchant where you can go and buy it from a merchant. We want to make sure you have options. We want to make sure the one that's in the store is kind of visually more attractive. So for these guys, obviously it feels like, oh, sure, you should be able to buy a cat for, according to the Dungeon DM, Player's Handbook of D&D 2nd Edition, I believe cats were listed as free. But it seems like they should be cheap at least. But these guys are something that we did not want to have people putting, hundreds and hundreds of cats down. We wanted to make sure that they were limited in terms. So we actually looked at it as... we want to make sure what's a price that will keep people from just littering their town with the cat feeders. So we'll see. We're trying 100K. I mean, it's also good for the economy. It pulls money out of the economy. And the ones that we picked for it, I think we just picked kind of 3 out of the 10 or so that we made and threw them down there. So it is, I think they're still a little cheaper than if you went and bought crowns with gold. I think that's actually a little cheaper to buy them from the merchant still. So, but anyways, trying to keep them limited because they are expensive for everybody who comes into town. Because they do wander, they do have a little bit of AI. For instance, you can go fight. Oh, I can't fight a cat. Oh, that's right. We have a rule. There's a project-wide rule after the cat massacre. Cats are one of the only unkillable objects. Is that true? Well, if you get the goats and the turkey and the other stuff, you can kill those. Cats, you're not allowed to kill cats ever in our game. Oh, you're still looking at my script. This is me fighting my cat. So anyways. Yeah, I went up to the cat and tried to fight it, and I got that. So. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be off my game today. I've been, if you've been watching me on Twitter or whatever, I was up at, started at work at 1 a.m. yesterday, and today I started at 3 a.m. Trying to get some stuff done. I just want to name the kitties in my PRT. Trying to think how we could implement that. Seems like we should be able to put it where if you rename your cat bowl. that could be used to set the name. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Let me see if there's... I haven't done a full sanity check on these things since they were put in. Okay, so it did go away. That's good. And he came back. That's good. Here's the other one that was a bug. Let's see if he fixed this one. This has been... One and Only has been working on the tech behind him, which he has reminded me repeatedly that he never intended it to be used in a pot, so it's got some bugs to it. But he is actually in New Hampshire, up there, and I won't say what he's there for, but he's there for some very exciting stuff. But I will conceal his stuff unless he ever wants to talk about it. But anyways, but he's going to be there from like now until the end of the year, so he's been working on it when he can. But he's got some other stuff, exciting stuff going on in his life right now. Let's see. What do you think? Is that probably long enough? Oh, and what I'm doing is I'm running away from them to see if the cats despawn and respawn. I didn't see a check-in form that fixed it, but I think he was having troubles reproducing. It was his problem. But we had people report it. Well. Nope, still here. Okay, I think that's probably fixed. So good news, you can go buy your pets and they'll be respawning properly. Despawning, respawning. You know, except they're all standing on their bowl. That's when I can have them set to different levels of wandering. I guess I need to go change the wander distance on these guys. I know some of them, like the reindeer, and some of the other ones wander like 50 meters or 100 meters around. Cats apparently like to hang out in a local spot. All right, let's see. I'm going to actually answer some questions off the sheet. Let me get that up. Lots of questions. Have you thought about how/if the hide name from public stats settings should interact with harvesting data in Lua scripts? So the Lua scripts are going to have the thing, for those who don't know, the Lua scripts only work on data already sent to your client. Nothing in the Lua can query the server for data. And that is for obvious reasons that we don't want you like hammering the server or doing nasty things, you know, basically writing a script to try and lag the server or cause problems on the server. So the public stats is pulling data from the entire world. Lua, you could pull data from the area around you, but it's really just the stuff around you. At most, you could pull stuff from the stuff inside your scene, like from data going on inside your scene. You know, so you could be like, you could track the information for your party, but I don't even think we send you a message like if Bob kills a rat across the scene. We don't have rats. I know, that's really sad. But if Bob kills a bear across the other side of the scene, I don't even think you get a message on it. So you could track other people's stats, but it'd only be if you wanted to follow them around in game and stand right behind them. So no, it will not have that stuff. Now, one thing that it can do is the public stats could be accessible from Lua scripts. People could write Lua scripts that could pull data from the public stats. Now, this is something that'll be coming up in the public stats that is long overdue. I thought we already had it. Apparently, we did not. Which is, we're probably going to change the public stats to have about a 5-minute delay on it. So any data, when you query data, you can't query data within the last 5 minutes. It'll still give you all the data. It's just going to be slightly delayed. This is a long term. It's been a request for a while, and I don't think it really hurts anybody. And it will also help protect some people who are trying to be sneaky about things. Let's see. Ehondis, can those spawners be made to work in dungeons, pretty please? Yes, I can't believe they didn't work already. Ehondis, I will get that on my incredibly short list. All right, my list is incredibly long, but my list that I'll be putting that on is short. I meant to make that happen. There's some things that we have that we limit, like these creatures, the pot spawners. We don't let you place them on a lot, because then all of a sudden, if it's, you know, the governor's only choice could be to evict you. But yeah, somebody's going to do the crazy cat lady, and they could have like 100 cats up on the roof, which would be hilarious. Except they would also probably, drop the frame rate by everybody in the scene by 5 frames per second or something stupid. So the reason we have them currently only as pot is we just wanted to make sure and ensure the frame rate. Trust us, we'd love to sell them to everybody. We are not against selling more of something, obviously, since it pays for my ramen lunch. But that's one where we thought it was best for the game overall. We didn't want to introduce ways for players to lag the town badly. So instead, we only let the governor lag the town badly. But that's not true in dungeons. Anything that works that is used as pot deco should be usable in a dungeon where you're basically the governor of your dungeon, effectively. So I have that on my list, and I'm going to go and get that done. Not going to be in the first release because I think I'm playing the first release. I haven't seen anything. Hey, thank you very much, Vegas BLT. Oh, and Lancer Main. Nice seeing you. I'm wondering who else I missed up there that I can't see because it's super gray. Let's see. Radiant Stranger, thank you. U235 Sentinel, thank you. And Lancel, thank you again. But anyway, so that's, yes, I will get those working for dungeons. So dungeons are basements and they behave the same way and you can place them in there. But yeah, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to place a bunch of cats in your dungeon if you want to. In fact, if you want to make the Slaughterfest where you go and place a bunch of cats just outside of a spawn room, encounter room, we should let you do that. Except your cats can't be killed, I don't think. You can only talk to a cat. You can't kill it. Child spawners for placing in dungeons. That does sound very Lord British-like. Let's see. Could all 3 undead summons please be graphically different than those we encounter in the crypts? Yeah, that's one I've noticed before. Is we have some things you can summon that you also see in the world, and that can get confusing. As you might have seen in my chat, I've promised somebody already that I'm going to be adding a secondary attack to all the undead, which is also on my short list. And that's just because, like, right now, almost every summoned creature has 2 or more attacks, except for undead that all have 1 attack. So I'll be doing that. Yeah, making them graphically different so you can at least tell them apart is something important. Making them look super different, obviously we'd have to do a new model and that type of stuff. But I think we can at least color code them and make a lich that has, he wears, instead of wearing a dark blue tattered shirt, he wears a light green tattered shirt. Something like that, to make them more obviously yours visually, because I know not everybody plays with the nameplates and tags and stuff like that. Bayard Knock, more death artifacts, please. So this is one that brings up something important, which is I'm working on, there's a couple things I'm still trying to work through the design and try and figure out if I want it, which right now I think there's a lot of people who know there's some crazy balance stuff going on for those who really, really, really want to work hard to get wands. There's if you're a fire mage and you're using 2 Vexlan, legendary Vexlan wands that are fully enchanted, and basically you can get like a plus 120 or whatever attunement. So that's one of the things that brought up a couple of things. One is having multiple of the same artifacts. So the artifacts do have some extra power on them. Again, we've been spicing those up a little bit, trying to move away from making them useless is basically how people would describe them. Those may be a little too spicy, but the bigger problem is I try to keep them separate. There's only the one wand that I know of, which is actually the fire wands, that I accidentally put 2 of the same similar type wands in there with the fire wand and the Vexlan's wand. But I'd planned on making it so you can only use 1 of any type of artifact. Right now, hands are the only place that can happen, is you could have 2 of the exact same items, 1 in each hand, making that so you can only use 1 at a time. Solves a little bit of that problem. For the fire mages, it continues to be a bit of a problem because they've also got a secondary fire wand that they can put in the other hand. But I'd plan on doing this soon because I'm going to be adding a secondary ring slot, which is on my wish list for, please let me get it to work, for R73. That was before, of course, I found out that R73 was also another 3-week release. But my number one concern and why I want to make sure that happened before I added the second ring slot is death mages and lich rings. If you imagine somebody wearing 2 legendary lich rings, and the bonuses they can get. There's actually some bonuses that I put on some things that are specifically intended to only be ever happen once, because they can exceed some target numbers. That wasn't on any one-handed items, which right now are the only ones you can get two of at the same time. But when I go to rings, there's some stuff in there that can get crazy, like summons that rather than losing health slowly over time, they gain health slowly over time if you get two of the same thing. So anyway, I've got to come up with some solution for that. I may just make it so if you have a second one, it doesn't give the bonus, or it doesn't give one of the bonuses, and I can flag the bonuses for which one to make sure you don't double up on a bonus I don't intend you to have double of. The other thing that I've looked at is if I do pull that, then I'll go ahead and add the epic level, the level above legendary, because I know there's some people out there who have collected, like, they basically are getting close to or have two Vexilin wands or two whatever legendary things. That'll at least give them a way that they can get to the epic version of the same thing. And they won't feel like they've been totally screwed. They still got something out of getting those to legendary in the first place. Soothing rain should make those cats multiply. Trying to understand. Turn into bad kitties you can kill. Let's see. Alright, continuing on. So yes, to more death artifacts. There's limited, but they've got some pretty powerful ones. Death mages are already pretty powerful. I'm not going to say they're the most powerful. I think max DPS is still the fire guys. But death guys can do some pretty good stuff, even after the death shield change. Brass Knuckle 007 asks, artifacts, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. I did not get any artifact stuff done for this release. There's only a handful left to change. I am going to be adding a few, but I will be adding them post-release. Tina O'Neill, can Shroud on console input get a Dest player also? This is in the Lua stuff. You can catch the function for anything that does something. So you hit Bob, it says, it's supposed to be giving you a attack message. Bob, does 73 points of damage or whatever. So the challenge I have with that right now is, I know that seems like it should be trivial, but the way messages and events and the language stuff all gets passed around and all that stuff gets generated is pretty convoluted right now. And it doesn't always come with the name of the source or the target in it. It depends on what the message is as to what gets sent across. And also the other thing that I found is the message for what happens when you get hit, like, the last part of the message, that is also getting generated in one big chunk of logic and then passed through a bunch of messages around. The short version of what that means is it can be really tough to figure out who the target for a message is without me going and reworking some stuff. So it is on my list of things to do, but it's not low-hanging fruit, and rather than going back and getting that, reworking all those messages, since you do have a way to find most of that stuff already just by parsing the thing, I'm actually going to work on getting the first version of the inventory, the first version of vendor stuff, and the first version of... oh crud, I can't remember the other one. Let's see, friends. There's like a whole list of things I'm trying to get done. And right now the thing that's blocking me is I'm trying to come up with a clean way to give you basically a table of tuples. Get a table of tuples to you guys, for those who know Lua stuff. Basically, I want to be able to give you a list of here's a chunk of data. I think I've nearly got it working for the inventory stuff. But once I have that, then I can create some inventories where you can just basically you can index your inventory using the array notation and some other stuff. But yes, it should have desk players, the short version, Tino O'Neill. Lord of Honesty. If people later make quests with Inky, any plans how to do localization? So that's one we've talked about. I think the initial version is not going to have localization. It's one that we can do. If we pull the Inky stuff into our stuff, we could do the localization. For those who don't know, If you're sitting by your computer and want to Google things, we have a localization server. It's called Zanata. It's an open source project for crowdsourcing localization. That's how pretty much all the localization in the game has been done, is players and others. Hey, thank you very much. Well, first, Ragnar Lodbrok. I was just in your town earlier today, checking things out, showing our new CS person your Viking theme and how some people like to have the different stuff, and they want to feel like they're in the town they want to feel like, and you definitely pulled it off well in your Viking town. But again, thank you. I'm not going to go all the way through there, but thank you so much, Catherine Rose, for the bits and all the other support things you do. And sorry I was not able to make in-game events. Had some exciting stuff going on at the Spears house that I'd promised Maxine we would do, which for those who missed it, let's see if I can get this going again. Here we go. I'll show you the exciting thing that we had going on. We have a fox that lives on our property. Actually, we have a pair of foxes that we know of live on our property, and we think the mama fox is about to have babies. And so Maxine and I wanted to get together and build them a fox house because we were worried about winter coming, babies coming. They were basically just living by sleeping up on our back patio. They're super cute. But anyway, so we built them a fox house, which I read up a little bit on, basically just a box with a hole on each end. And then I, of course, being a nerd, installed a camera in it. So we did that on this weekend, and we didn't get any visitors from the foxes. But we did get a visitor last night, which is another one of our things that we refer to as our pet, which is, here he is, you ready? It is a ring-tailed cat. He came and checked out the house that we built for the foxes, so I'm live streaming that stuff. I just have a security program set up that captures any changes on it. So we'll see. I'm hoping the foxes will show up here soon, but that is our current person visiting, is a ring-tailed cat, which is looks like a cross between a cat and a raccoon. It's crazy. They live here in Texas. I know, exciting, but that's why I couldn't make some stuff. Oh, and Gorfang, thank you very much for the follow, and Scooby-Doo, thank you for the bits. Thank you, Scooby. My cats ran away. Where'd my cats go? Who took my cats? Somebody took my cats. I wasn't paying attention. Someone snuck in and took my cat dish. Let's see. And yes, I'm aware of there's some pathing issues with an elf on the top floor of Tartarus. I'm going to try to get in there and redo some of the pathing in there. I'm not sure what happened on that one, but again, our pathing system's always been fairly fragile. And I've punished Undone with it enough as I can do, and I am now trying to do him a favor because he fixed our Apple patcher. For those who are on Macintoshes and moved to Catalina, because you're early adopters, you want to get on there as soon as it came out, you would have found that unless you're playing through Steam, you could no longer patch the game in our client. So anyway, so we finally got that updated. That's now live. You'll have to download the patcher again from our website and install the game, but the patcher will now work with 64-bit and Catalina. We do care, Mac people. I got a few emails from angry Mac people saying we don't care. We do care. Let's see. What other stuff they had? I guess I can go back to my question list. Foo Bunny, have you thought of connecting to like Curse or Minion for add-on management? I'm going to do some add-on management stuff. I was talking to Ravlox about some of that stuff. He was suggesting some things. But I'm going to look into something right now. I feel there's enough basic stuff. I need to get that going. You can expect, if you're one of the people who's developing in Lua, this is again a Lua question in case you hadn't figured that out yet. If you're developing in Lua, I will probably be updating some of the API stuff because it's one of those things now that I'm like 50 calls into it. I hate some of the stuff I did early on. And so I will be, oh crap, my brain is fried. I can't remember the word I'm trying to think of. We will be, all I can think of is fossilize. Deprecating. We will be deprecating some of those, but I'm basically going to roll out a second API version. And the functions that are in there now will be deprecated for a release or two, and then like after a couple of releases, they'll stop functioning to force you to move to the new version of the API. Most of them will just be name changes and maybe some minor differences in how I call things. But again, I've did that stuff early on when I was learning things, and now I know more, and I can do it better. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I never did my first or second giveaway. Let me do the giveaway now, and then I'm going to do another giveaway like in 8 minutes. Because I got a baby coming home soon. But yeah, I will look into add-on managers as the short version when I have things a little more stable, a little more ready to go, and I think players are out there. Remember, I didn't even promise the Lewis stuff. I told you kind of as the... we will go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. We will do these things stuff I set that for the end of the year for Lua, and GM for stuff for Q1. But I'm gonna have GM stuff done for next release, and I'm gonna have Lua somewhat done for this release and pretty functional for next release. So I'm ahead of my schedule on that, but I will get to a add-on manager. Famine. So we're going to see a real character screen soon. You mean one that does not look like that? Yes. My belief is the players will beat us to it, because I'm going to expose even some more stuff to the Lua guys here soon, including stuff like now modifying some Windows stuff. Letting you guys modify some of the existing UI stuff can be challenging, although I'm gonna keep working on that. I know some ways I can do some things where I can hook some variables for you to let you set positions and things. But the thing I'm going to do before then is giving you access to, is the character window up, and is the character window, what's the XYZ of the character window, or the XZ of the character window, XY. So, with just that information, you could write something that when you open the window, and again, this is just to get you guys your creative juices flowing of all the stuff you can do with this thing. You could do something whenever you open your window, it's up, you can put your own UI border stuff around here and attach to this. Still keep all the functionality and not have to worry about the fact that how are you going to implement like a button and dragging and dropping armor and that type of stuff without a full UI system on it. So that'll be pretty quick, because all I got to do to let you guys do that is expose the XZ and whether or not it's open or not. Literally like 2 function calls, and with that alone, I know there's guys out there who could hook that, just track that information, and then on their update GUI stuff, all they're doing is they're printing their GUI. The space they do for it is adjusted by what the location of this is. So that'll give you the ability to have a more full character screen. We want to get a full character screen ourselves in, but as I mentioned, we got a lot of stuff to do. The guy that would be doing that is instead working on Inkly right now, and I'm pretty sure you guys want Inkly as well. So those are 2 overlapping UI things. So I'm trying to circumvent him by letting you guys do your own stuff so you can customize, because there are some people who think this is full and they don't want more information. Others, not so much. Let's see. I'm being told that a streamer went through my house. I wonder who that was. Let's see. Back to my questions. So yes, Famines, you will definitely be getting a real character screen soon. The only question is whether or not we make it or you guys make it. If reality could be somewhere in between, and you guys make something that we like, and we end up ripping it off and formalizing it a little more. Let's see. Mia Sway says, are forked weapons done? I know they came out with the idea of 3 smaller hits that would add up to 1 spear hit, but they got squashed for some reason. and it is, for the most part, fell back to spear damage. It's supposed to be in there. I didn't know it was removed if it wasn't, or if it was, maybe it got removed by a conversion process that somebody didn't know about it. I think it's one of those that's really tough because to get the balance right on it. Because if you have 3 smaller hits, you can't just make them do a third damage each, because you got guys like Anthrax with 130 damage resist. If you're going to hit for 300 points of damage and you single hit 300 points, you get 170 through. If you 3 hits for 100 points of damage and you got 130 damage resist, like Anthrax was saying, then you're probably getting 45 points through or something like that. So a huge difference in balance. So it's obvious that each fork needs to do more than 33% damage. But I'll take another look at it. I didn't know it reverted back to spear damage. That was definitely not intended. But the balance is the other one. Tina O'Near, thank you very much. That was a good reminder. Can we get access to attenuation status in Lua? Yes, I want to give you access to... so attenuation status is fully tracked on the server. I don't know that we send any of that down, so that may actually be one of those that's a little tougher than expected. But I can give you, again, on my very short list, is to make a hook that is on gained experience. So you guys will get a call anytime you gain experience, and it'll tell you the exact amount. And you guys, again, part of the reason we're doing the Lewis stuff is so we can track... I am so bad at streaming. Anyways, finishing that thought. So you guys can track stuff for us. So you guys can help us debug things where you guys think things are working as expected, or we think things are working expected, and you guys say BS, and we're like, nah, I think you just can't see enough information when we're telling you the truth. It works this way. But anyway, so this is part of that, is exposing more stuff to you guys like experience gains, so that you can tell us if the attenuation system's functioning as expected. So that's another one thanks for reminding me I need to absolutely get in there. So now it's the end of the stream, and I didn't give away a single prize. So you guys have all raffled up. You should raffle up, because I'm going to give away 2 things here back to back. I'll give away, so the first one's going to be the Topiary Dragon. I'll draw once for that. Then I'm going to draw once for the Village... Kobold Village Inn. Do. All right, looks like I am going to do another build here, so I got to get off and do that too. Hopefully get that started before Maxine gets home. But anyway, so let's do the drawing. Sorry if I didn't get to too many things, and if I seem exhausted, because I am exhausted. Again, super sad news on Brad McQuaid. In case you missed it, one of my big influences in terms of gaming stuff and EverQuest. And thoughts definitely go out to his family and friends and his team. But let's see. Let me find it. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to do 2 drawings. First drawing will be for the Topiary Dragon, Village Topiary Dragon. Second one will be for the Kobold Village Inn. You ready? Here we go. Closing the giveaway. Closing the giveaway. Bam. Oh, you guys were already in there. Here we go. You ready? Topiary Dragon goes to Prison Bound. Ooh, Griffler, I like that. The Arrested Experience concept. That's something that was at WoW that did that. Oh, I can't remember what game did that. I think that was WoW. All right, and Prison Bound. I think you're just Prison Bound. Yeah, the Arrested Experience, it has some things that it's good. Again, we look for anytime we can come up with ways to encourage you to come back and log into the game, and log into the game fairly often. And having Arrested Experience that piles up and only will pile up for like 24 or 72 hours is a good thing, because then you feel like you need to log in, because I don't want to lose that extra free experience. But you got to come in and spend it. That's how it's different from ours. We have the login bonus, but we don't have the login and spend it, or it goes away. And by spending, I mean earning experience. Let's see. This would be the topiary. Goes to that guy, prison bound. And next winner, this is for the Village Inn. Dust Rider. Or is it Dustrider? Could be French. Let's see, is there a Dust Rider? Hey, there is a Dust Rider. In... Which one did I say it was? It's the Haunted Village Inn. Who's moving my mailbox? Stop that. Get out of here. No, I like the idea of logging out in your own house. It's one of those things I would love to make, like the Village Inn, like inns give you different bonus in other houses. But it is... that's one of those I worry about. We would immediately hear people screaming, pay to win, pay to win, pay to win. And I do try to keep an eye on that if you can only get it from like a certain type of house. Like, for instance, if you sleep the night in the Obsidian Keep, dun dun dun, and it gave you some special bonus, and people would definitely be screaming about it. All right, guys, it is 3:03, and my alarm to go get a baby is about to go off. I appreciate everything you guys do for us, and I will try to get some more sleep once I get this next build going, because it looks like we're doing one more build. I guess that's probably about it. Let me go find somebody to raid. Again, Lua's the big excitement this release. Next release is also a 3-week release, though, and hopefully for that one, Inkley will be the big excitement. But all along the way, I'm going to be patching. I'll get you guys at least a patch a week from now until R74. Adding in more Lua stuff and updating more things. And hopefully getting that stupid dungeon, player-owned dungeon pathfinding stuff fixed that is breaking stuff all over. First things first, let's do... find somebody to raid on Twitch. Do. Let's see, we got me, we got a Bonger, we got a Famines, we got a Serial Noob. Alright, we got Bonger, Serial Noob, Skeggy Media. Although I don't see an actual stream up for Serial Noob, I don't see an actual screen. Let's do Bonger, Skeggy, and Famines. Serial Noob, if you've got something up and I just got a bug here that I'm not seeing, let me try force refreshing. Yeah, it's not showing anything on your screen. So let me do a roll of 3. Bonger, Skeggy, Famines. Oh, Famines, I'm sure you're paying attention, at least listening, hopefully, but I owe you some prizes giveaway for your fundraising stuff, for your charity stuff. I will get that to you. Let's see, why am I trying to raid from over there? Oh, I'm doing a roll over here, that's what I'm doing. Roll of 3 is a 3. That is a Famines. Raid. Famines. Bam. Guys, again, thank you so much for all the support and all the feedback on stuff. Again, my pitch has always been, at least, that we're kind of co-developing this with you guys, so it's kind of cool having the Lua stuff and getting you guys to actually kind of code side by side and see what you're doing with things and break things for me. But again, as always, thank you guys so much for support, financial, social support, emotional support, all the different types of support you guys give us. And we will see you for what will hopefully be an amazing release starting tomorrow. Oh, I do have a bunch of performance stuff in. I probably should have talked about that if I hadn't run out of time. Maybe I'll stream again tomorrow for release day. But there's going to be some more performance stuff that I'm putting in right now. And I guess now I'm going to do another build so I can get some of it checked in right now that I believe will make a much bigger improvement than the last stuff I did. Just changing how we apply damage, how we do some stuff that's actually code and assets. But anyways, should improve things, especially around Rings of Fire and those type of nightmare situations. But guys, thank you so much, and let's go raid.